All right, let's go straight to the gist. Viewers, what is happening right now between Nigeria and the United States is one of those stories that makes you just sit up and say, wait, what did I just hear? Please, as we go on, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It really helps us grow and keeps you updated with real-time news and analysis. So, the story started when former US President Donald Trump made a very strong statement about Nigeria. He said that Christians in Nigeria are facing serious persecution and that he is asking the US military to be ready to step in if things don't change. He also warned that America might stop helping Nigeria with aid and other kinds of support. Now, that statement alone has caused a lot of reactions because it sounds like he is threatening to interfere in Nigeria's internal matters. After Trump's message, many Nigerians, both home and abroad, started reacting. Some people agreed with him, saying that religious attacks have been a serious problem and need urgent attention. But others said no, that Trump is exaggerating and that Nigeria's problems are more complex than just religion. The government of Nigeria quickly responded, making it clear that Nigeria is not a country that persecutes anyone based on their faith, and that the Constitution already protects the rights of all citizens to practice their religion freely. Please, before we go deeper, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you won't miss the next update when new information drops. Now, this is where Sheikh Ahmad Gumi enters the matter. Sheikh Gumi, as most of you already know, is one of the most popular Islamic scholars in Nigeria. He often talks about peace, unity, and national issues. But this time he came out boldly saying Nigeria should summon the US ambassador and demand that Trump withdraws his threat. According to Gumi, if Trump or the US government refuses to take back that statement, then Nigeria should strongly consider cutting off diplomatic ties with America. Yes, he actually said it, cut off ties. Now let's break that down. Cutting off ties between two countries means closing embassies, recalling ambassadors, and ending cooperation in things like security, business, education, and even health. That's a big move and not something you do every day. Nigeria and the US have been partners for decades, from military support to fighting terrorism to education and trade. America is one of Nigeria's biggest trading partners, and many Nigerians study, work, or do business there. So if Nigeria cuts off ties, it would shake a lot of things. But Sheikh Gumi's point is that Nigeria must defend its dignity and sovereignty. He said no nation should threaten another in that manner, and if a former US president can make such statements, Nigeria must show it will not be bullied. He believes standing firm will earn Nigeria respect not just from the US, but from other powerful nations too. As you are listening, let me know in the comments. Do you think Gumi is right? Should Nigeria take that kind of action? And please don't forget to like and subscribe while you are thinking about that answer. Now, on the other side, some experts are saying Nigeria has to be careful. Cutting ties sounds bold, but it can also hurt us. For example, the US gives Nigeria a lot of support in the fight against terrorism, especially in the Northeast. The two countries share intelligence and sometimes train Nigerian soldiers. Also, in trade and investment, American companies contribute billions to Nigeria's economy. If we close the door completely, those opportunities might reduce. So the question is it worth it? But let's be honest, Gumi's message is not just about cutting ties. It's about sending a signal that Nigeria cannot be spoken to like a child. He said, if a world power like the US feels they can threaten Nigeria publicly, then what's next? Tomorrow it might be another country trying the same thing. So he wants the Nigerian government to show strength. Many people in the north and across Nigeria are saying that his call represents national pride, that it's time for Nigeria to set boundaries. Now, to be fair, Nigeria's government has been responding in a very diplomatic way. The presidency said clearly that Nigeria welcomes international partnership, but that partnership must respect our sovereignty. In other words, we want peace, but we won't accept anyone trying to control or insult us. They are trying to balance firmness with diplomacy. That's why we haven't seen any sudden break in relations yet. The Nigerian ambassador is still in Washington, and the US embassy in Abuja is still open. Meanwhile, ordinary Nigerians are having their own conversations. Some people online say this is the time to start building stronger ties with other countries like China, Russia, and even our fellow African nations, so that we are not always dependent on America. They say a big country like Nigeria should not rely too much on one foreign partner. But others warn that new alliances also come with their own conditions. For example, working closely with countries like China or Russia may bring economic benefits, but it can also come with debts or political strings attached. Another important thing to note here is that Trump's statement focuses on religion. But experts say Nigeria's security crisis is not simply about Christians versus Muslims. The truth is, violence affects both sides. Many Muslims, especially in northern communities, have also suffered from attacks by bandits and insurgents. So when Trump talks about protecting only one side, it sounds like he is not seeing the full picture. Nigeria's challenges are about insecurity, poverty, unemployment, and corruption, not just religion. That's why many Nigerians feel his statement was unfair. Some even called it an attempt to divide the country further. Gumi himself said that Trump's claim that Christians are under attack by Islamists is a dangerous oversimplification. He said both Muslims and Christians are victims of the same violent groups, and America should help Nigeria solve the problem, not create more tension. Now, viewers, this brings us to a very serious question. What should Nigeria do next? Should we react strongly, as Gumi said, or should we just handle it calmly through diplomacy? Remember, countries don't always have to fight to prove power. Sometimes quiet negotiation achieves more. But at the same time, there's also a need to show that Nigeria won't take any disrespect lightly. If Nigeria decides to recall its ambassador from Washington, that's a clear warning sign. It means we are still open to talking, but we are not happy. If Nigeria goes a step further and closes the US embassy, that's when we can say ties are officially cut. That would be a historic move, something that has never happened between the two countries. But would Nigeria really go that far? We don't know yet. So let's keep watching the government's next statement. As we are talking about this, please pause for a moment, click that like button, and subscribe to this channel. That's how you'll keep getting real-time updates whenever something new happens in this story. Now, this whole situation is also raising another discussion about Africa as a whole. Some people are saying it's time for African nations to unite and speak with one voice when foreign leaders try to interfere in their affairs. They say that if Africa stands together, outside powers will think twice before making such statements. Others believe that cooperation with the US should continue, but on equal terms. No threats, no intimidation, just partnership based on respect. Looking at how this might end, there are a few possibilities. 1. The US government may distance itself from Trump's comment and issue a softer statement to calm things down. 2. Nigeria might issue a formal protest but still maintain diplomatic contact. Or 3. Things could get worse if both sides refuse to compromise. But I personally think diplomacy will win. Both Nigeria's and the US have too much to gain from working together, and too much to lose from a total fallout. But still, Gumi's statement has made something clear. Nigerians are tired of being looked down upon. Whether you agree with him or not, his call has made everyone start asking deeper questions about independence, pride, and self-respect as a nation. He's saying if you truly value your country, you don't let anyone talk to you like you are weak. So what do you think? Should Nigeria cut off ties completely, or should we just send a strong message and move on? Tell me what you think in the comment section. And while you're writing that comment, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. That helps this gist to reach more people and keeps our updates coming to you fresh. As we wait for new developments, we'll keep following what the government says, what Trump's camp says, and whether any other international leaders react. If there's one thing we can take away from this story, it's that Nigeria's voice matters. When we stand firm and speak with unity, even the biggest nations listen.